Okay, so now all right, now I feel good because I can see myself. So, welcome to my air fryer cooking class. For anybody that's joining in or is going to be watching the recording, if you're not familiar with me, I'm Tara Fonts, an advanced director with Pampered Chef for almost 11 years now. Cannot believe I'm saying that, but 11 years. So, just wanted to say thank you for joining in. You can see I have two of our Pampered Chef air fryers right here. My mother did not use hers. She's old school, so I got hers back. So now I actually have double. But I pretty much only use the one. I don't need two of them up here, but I figured one was hot and one was cold. It was easier for me to show you guys the displays and all that stuff on the cold one. So briefly, let me explain if you don't have a Pampered Chef air fryer. If you have one and you're just not familiar.
Eliza was diagnosed with bilateral retinoblastoma at 4 months.
Hey, Vicki, can you do me a favor? And
It's cancer of the eyes. It's aggressive and it's fast growing. And
hey, Vicki. Okay, I think she got it. Definitely not something you want to be. We want to be talking about. So just in case you're not familiar, if you have one, but you don't really know the settings and stuff like that, briefly, we have 8 different settings on the air fryer. We have a custom setting, air fry, which is preset to 400 degrees. The bake setting, which is 350 degrees. The roast setting, which is 375. We have a rotisserie setting, so you can do rotisserie chicken, you can do French fries, you can do different things, chicken nuggets in there if you want to put them in the basket. Reheat setting and dehydrate. So dehydrating is perfect for making dried fruits. I'm not sure about vegetables. I've never even thought about that, but I'm sure you could do that too. It also makes great beef jerky or turkey jerky. I've never done the turkey, but I have done beef and it turned out fantastic. So there's a lot of options that you have with an air fryer. One thing, let me show you guys this. So this is the cool one. So you can see our baskets that you could put French fries in. This is our retrieval tool. I'm not going to do it because it's kind of awkward for me going backwards, but it does come with that. And it comes with the basket, which is stainless steel and it's dishwasher safe, which makes it even better in my book. So it does come with 2 trays. I took them out and they were in here, but there's also a guard tray on the very top. Of course, I'm trying to put this out. Here we go. So there's a guard on the very top, and it might look like it looks a little dirty, which I should probably clean it. But it looks like another tray, but it's actually not. So the reason for this is it goes in the very top to prevent food from touching the cooking elements. So you want to make sure that you leave it in place so that you don't burn your food and catch something on fire. It also comes with, like I said, this was my mother's and I haven't cleaned it out since then. It also comes with the metal drip tray, which is not dishwasher safe, but cleans up very easily and goes right back in. That catches any of the other mess that's going to be happening, like there are some dried up things that were in there. So that was the one thing I was going to say. You can purchase a third tray, which I'll show you in just a minute. Separately, and there's also a silicone mess catcher that's in here that I'll show you guys. There's so many other things that I'm going to move on to, but I'm going to show you guys. You guys don't want to be watching me cook, so that's why I made these ahead of time. So I made in here, and I got to use my little grippers because these things get hot. Okay, so I made some spicy cauliflower bites and with a honey sriracha sauce. So all it was a head of cauliflower, and I broke them up into bite-sized pieces and then dipped them into egg whites and then rolled them in a mixture of panko and salt and butter. So that works really easily. You guys can see on here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's kind of a mess. I use these these parchment paper liners. You can see they've got holes in them. It just makes it easier for cleanup. Like a whole pack of these for 100 pieces, I think was like $6. So I ordered these on Amazon. They're great, especially if you've got something like sticky. I can't stand that. So dump that in the trash. I'll leave that there. Take this one out. And if you guys have any questions, just please speak up because I'll just keep talking. So, and yes, so this is what my family will get. I'm going to send them down there. And no, it's not all healthy stuff. So these are, but it's nice afternoon appetizer. Here we go. All right, let me dump this. And then I'll get on to the good stuff. And let me dump these. Okay. You guys can see this. I'm going to move on to, I'm going to talk about cleaning last. So one thing it's too hot in there. All right, I'll have to hold off on that. Let me wipe this off. Panko is a little bit messy and they didn't stick as well as I thought they would. So, okay. So now I can at least get that off of there. So now I'm going to move on and show you guys something because this takes a little bit of time too. So while that's running, I'll finish talking about all the other stuff. Who likes cinnamon rolls?
I do.
I do. And, you know, I am all about easy is better. Okay. So I'm not making homemade cinnamon rolls. I'm using good old Pillsbury cinnamon rolls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up and show you guys. Of course, you can make them from scratch. You can do whatever you want with them, but I just don't. Okay, I forgot. I got to melt my butter. So hold on a second. Well, that's coming up. There we go. And I'm going to split these guys into pieces. Ouch. Because these guys, if they were the regular cinnamon rolls, then they would fit a little bit better. But these are the jumbo grands. I kind of messed them up. They've been sitting out, so they softened up a little bit. So all I'm going to do is cut these guys into pieces, like quarters, okay? And then I'm going to roll them into a ball. Or actually, I do it halfway. That's good. So I'm just going to roll them up like this. Super, super easy. Little messy, but it's worth it. And especially for a Sunday. My luck, I'll cut myself.
What's in the bowl? I came in late.
Oh, that's okay. It's just, there's nothing in there yet. I'm taking these cinnamon rolls and they're the big ones. So I'm kind of making mini cinnamon rolls and I'm actually going to drizzle some butter on them. And I'm going to show you guys how to make these in the air fryer. Because a lot of people, when they think of the air fryers, they think it's all going to be like custom or homemade stuff. And you never really know what to use with it. So this just goes to show you that you can use it for just about anything. I joke in my parties and I call it the Easy Bake Oven, the adult Easy Bake Oven, because it really is. It's a mini oven. You don't have to, at least with the Pampered Chef, when you don't have to preheat it. So you don't have to worry about like taking all that time, especially in the summer, heating up your kitchen. You know, when you're trying to cut expenses and keep things down, it heats up a lot faster and it cooks right away. So I'm almost finished with these. And when I was pointing out the features of it, the reheat feature, if you've got leftover pizza from wherever, like, I don't know, homemade or order out wherever, if you try to reheat your pizza in the microwave, like my crazy kids do, because they like it soggy. Don't ask me why, but I don't like my pizza soggy. I like my pizza just like I did when I got it from wherever I got it from. And in here, when you do the reheat function, it comes out nice and crispy. So leftover hamburgers, leftover chicken nuggets, anything like that, it's going to come out nice and crispy again. And it cooks in about half the time. So, all right, I am almost finished. Let me wash my hands off real quick. Otherwise, I'll be touching everything, and then later on, my kitchen will be sticky. All righty. So let me get my butter. And it was just 2 tablespoons of butter, but I just melted it in my microwave. So now I'm just gonna drizzle that on here. And you guys can see it's just in there like that. I'm just gonna toss these together just to get them coated. And then you guys, I'm sure you guys have seen these are the little mini styrofoam skillets. I'm actually going to put these in there. Let me see. Flip these up. And just kind of have these set up in there. I don't need the liners anymore. So you guys, can you guys see those?
Yep.
They're nothing special, like not in there any special way. I just kind of threw them in. So I'm going to put one on here and one on the middle tray. And then one of the neat functions with ours, let's see, is that going to rise up? All right, so I'm going to turn it on the bake setting, and I'm going to set it on there for about 10 minutes. Okay, so while that's cooking, I can go over all of the other things. So does everybody in here have the Pampered Chef air fryer?
Yes.
Does anybody not have one?
I don't.
I don't.
I don't.
Because of cooking.
What kind do you guys have?
I have a Ninja Foodie.
Ninja Foodie, okay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and talk about like air fryer tips, and then I'll get into some more.
Need arch support, but orthotics make your shoes too tight? Now there's CopperFit Arch Relief Plus, the revolutionary adjustable.
Thanks, Vicki. Okay, so one thing I was going to point out is there's so many different air fryers on the market. You definitely want to pick quality as opposed to just one of the cheap ones that you can pick up. If you're going to be using it, you want a good one that's going to last. So make sure that you get a good one. One of the problems that I've heard about some of the cheaper air fryers is some of the nonstick coating on the ones that have the basket is most of them have like a nonstick coating on those. And some of the cheaper quality air fryers, the nonstick coating tends to come off shortly after you get it. So another thing is when I was talking about another tip is when you are using, I don't know about, I'm sure the baskets are pretty much the same way, but if you have trays, make sure if you're using the air fry setting, you are spacing things out, giving them a little bit of room in between, because the air fry actually is cooked by the air and it needs the airflow all around the food. So if you're crowding them all together, it's not going to actually cook as well in the middle. So you kind of need some space in there. That's another reason why the parchment paper has holes in it. That allows the air to flow through it. Instead of just a solid piece, it would kind of blow all over the place. So next I'm going to move on to oil. Now I've got my cheat sheet here, so I was made sure I could stay on track. So most people think that air fried is you have to use oil. You don't have to use oil. If you want to crisp things up and make it nice and crispy, then yes, you can use some oil, but nothing like the deep fry. So you don't have to worry about calories, the fat, all of that stuff from deep frying. Oil actually does help the seasonings to stick better. On these, I use, like I said, I use the egg wash. So it was nice and wet, but oil will do the same thing. So if you're taking a chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breast, like Jen, you're using, if it's fresh, frozen might not stick the same, but a fresh one, if you take a little bit of oil, brush it on there, and then put your seasonings on, it's going to keep your seasonings in place. Okay, it's not going to make that much of a difference when it comes to how it cooks, other than, you know, if you use a nice quality olive oil, you're going to taste it. It's going to taste a little bit better, give it some extra flavor. So it also, the oil also helps to seal in the juices and helps to seal in the moisture so it doesn't dry out quite as much. Let's see. Oh, make sure you never use, let me see. Too much credit. I'll have to read those. I can't read across the room. Especially can't read them if I'm taking the glasses off. So one thing I was going to say, and I know you guys have probably done parties with me. Most of you guys have in the past, and you've all heard me say, never use spray products like PAM. Okay, PAM has lots of chemicals that can eat away at the surface of your machine as well as your food. So you really don't want to be eating the chemicals that go in there. You can use your basting brush. You can brush on some, some oil, olive oil, avocado oil. Avocado has a higher heat tolerance, I guess. But you can use butter, anything like that that you can use. It's perfect, just brushing it on, or if you have our kitchen spritzer, you can spray it on with that. Let's see. Going to move on to, I should have shown you when I opened this up before, the silicone mess catcher. It's sort of like the drip tray in here, shaped the same way, but it's silicone and it stays in place perfect, but it's dishwasher safe. So let me move these over and I'll show you guys. So that's one feature that I can share about our air fryer is it beeps halfway through to let you know it's a good idea, it's when you're supposed to change the trays. I get tongue-tied on these things all the time. All righty. And you guys can see here is the drip tray. So dump off the panko and put it back in and close it up and it continues setting. So you don't have to push any other buttons or anything like that. It automatically will go for you. The next thing is you can see I've got these on my island, but when you have it on the counter, air fryers need air. So they need airflow behind them, underneath of them. Ours have feet to keep it up a little bit, but make sure if you have it pushed up against the counter, against the back wall or something, pull it out slightly when you're using it. The more airflow that gets behind it, I can feel it blowing back here. So the more that it has room to flow, the better your machine will be, and your machine will be a lot happier. So next thing is don't cook super wet foods like chicken breasts that are not breaded. If you've got things in there like that, make sure to dry things off a little bit with paper towels first, because that will help to give it the best finish. It will give it a little bit of a crispness to the outside. And let's adjust you're going to have to adjust the cooking times. Like, so for the cinnamon rolls that I just cooked, I don't even remember what the directions said. So this says 350 for 23 to 27 minutes. I did it for 10 minutes because it's the first time I've done these, but I cut it down more than half just because it cooks so much faster. The area that you're cooking is so small that it's going to heat up and cook a lot faster. Ours actually preheats in 30 seconds. So that's the neat feature, that you don't have to preheat. Even though some of the other recipes that you can get might say preheat your air fryer. You don't need to do that with this one.
Can I ask a question,
Please.
Tara? If something doesn't have directions on how to air fry something, how do you know how long to cook it and at what temperature?
Okay, so if I usually go by what temperature it recommends. Like if it says bake at 350,
Okay,
well, we have a bake setting that's 350. And I cut the time down by half and then keep checking it.
okay.
So, because you can custom set it, you can set it for whatever
So
temperature you want.
cut it down by half. Okay, perfect. That's a great tip. Thank you.
You have to check it just to make sure, but it's better to undercook and add another minute or
Absolutely.
two than overcook.
Great, thank you.
Sure. So like I was saying about reheating, you want to make sure that you're doing the reheat function. It works fantastic and no more soggy pizza. I can't stand that. A big thing is to watch out for is never use wax paper in these because it can actually melt them. So parchment paper is okay, but as long as it has the holes in it, you're going to be okay with that. Aluminum foil and paper towels are another thing that you should never put in the air fryer. I was doing some research. Once I came up with this idea, my friend Dora was the one that asked me to do this. And I said, sure. So I advertised, I put it on, and then I said, what am I going to talk about? So I have spent the last 2 weeks going through the Pampered Chef website, going through Ninja, going through like all of the other sites, YouTube, Google, and trying to come up with a general list of tips and things to do and not to do with the air fryer. One of the things that kept coming up that I kept seeing was about the paper towels and the aluminum foil. So when you put things like that in the air fryer, the air is going to blow it around and they're very flimsy and they can break apart into pieces and wind up in your food. And you certainly don't want to be eating paper towels or aluminum foil. So I'd never even thought about that before until I saw that. Oh my gosh. If you could smell this. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm going to take this off. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to take this off. That's pretty much done.
I can smell them all the way up here, Tara.
You know, this one went to the bottom, so I'm going to put it back in for like about another minute. Okay, so let me show you guys. If you guys can see the screen, right? I do this so fast sometimes. All right, so when to change the settings on here, it's air fry, bake, roast, rotisserie, reheat, dehydrate, and then it comes back over here. If you want to do the custom setting, you just push the button. So I'm going back on bake and I push it to confirm the temperature and then I adjust the time. We'll just do 2 minutes and it starts. So there is a light in here. So I don't know if you guys can see it. You probably can't see because it's hard through the screen, but if you're looking in there and you're trying to check on something, make sure it's working. Or if you're using the rotisserie basket, you can see if it's rotating through it when you turn the light on. So that works really, really good. All right, so last up, I'm going to talk about cleaning your air fryer because you want to make sure that you clean it, wipe it out, clean it, other than like I didn't follow the directions on this one. I didn't even look at it. My mother just gave it to me and I put it in my office and I opened it up today. So normally I clean this one every single time before I put it away. Let me see. So the Pampered Chef model, let me show you here, is super easy. You can just wipe it down with a clean cloth. You can just don't want to add like soap and stuff inside there. Not soap, but you don't want to add a lot of water in there. So if you just take like a damp cloth, you can wipe that out. You can take, like I said, this drip tray, the metal drip tray is hand wash, but you can wipe everything out. And I'm going to come over here so you guys I can do this way. All right. So you can see on, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the Pampered Chef one the door actually comes off. So it's a really nice feature because that way you can actually wipe this down. You can clean inside. There's, if you have like, I use my, my smoothie, brushes that actually can go down here. And it gives you a chance to be able to clean all of this in here. And then putting it back together, you just push these little buttons on the side. Yeah, so that is a really, really good one. All right, let me take this out. Okay, ouch. Does get hot. All right, leave that one like that. So the basket, when you have the kind with the basket, most of the models that I found, the whole basket itself is dishwasher safe. And you can submerge that in water and things like that. Not the main part and not the machines like this. Ours are just, I'm gonna put these in the dishwasher and the drip tray in the dishwasher, and then I'll make sure I wipe out any crumbs. That's pretty simple on ours. But let's see, on the basket kind, there's multiple ways that you can Google and you can find ways to clean those. So one of them is to wipe out the majority of you want to wipe out as much as you can. And if you don't have a garbage disposal, do not dump it down your sink. You certainly don't want to do that. If you have made bacon, bacon is a great one. I love to cook bacon in the air fryer because it drops the grease all into the drip tray. I can do about, 6 to 7, 8 pieces of bacon at one time. Oh, I was just reading the notes. So I can pretty much do that. It keeps it contained in here. I don't have to wait for my oven to heat up, and I don't cook this. I hate cooking bacon on my stove because I hate the grease that it causes. So in here, what I usually do is I have we'll get a container, pour the grease into that, or sometimes I will let it sit and harden up, solidify, and then wipe it out. You never want to pour hot grease down your drain because that can cause all sorts of problems for your pipes, and you never ever want to do that. So make sure if you're cooking greasy things like that, that you clean them out as good as possible. So the basket kinds, you can fill it with a good dish detergent. Dawn is usually a really good one because it cuts the grease. You can soak it, you can hand wash it, or you can put it in a dishwasher. As long as yours says it's dishwasher safe, then you can do that. Another thing is you can mix in there some baking soda. If you've got some things that are burnt on, some baking soda it acts as an abrasive. It helps to clean it out. You can use a brush. And there's other things like you can put vinegar in there if you need to, but it just depends on what kind of food you have in there and how, I don't know how bad it is. So yeah, the baking soda helps to neutralize the odor. So if you've cooked like, I don't know, fish sticks or something, fried fish or something in there, and it's going to stink really, really bad. Sorry, my glasses keep sliding down my nose. You want to make sure that you neutralize the smell so that every time you open it up, you're not like hit with this fish smell. And another, another method is the white vinegar and water. And one method I saw, I don't know how reliable it is. I saw a TikTok on it, and then I saw a bunch of other methods on it using the same method, is when you have the basket, fill it up with some water, add some dish soap, put it back in, and set your air fryer like to roast or bake for about 15 minutes. So what it does, or I'm sorry, 400 degrees, I messed that up, 400 degrees for 5 to 6 minutes. So it's kind of like when you have a skillet that has baked on food and you add water and some dish soap to your skillet, you turn it on and you let it bubble. Well, the heat causes the little particles to loosen up and it makes it much easier to clean. So that is what I have. I have to make sure I pour this over the hot cinnamon rolls so that, because my stomach's starting to growl right now. So now I guess I have some, you guys, if you guys have some questions for me, I am happy to answer your questions because I know it's hard to cover. So there's so much that goes along with these. I've cooked so many different things in here that I just wanted to show something basic, like open up the freezer, open up chicken nuggets, open up something and cook it. You don't have to make them all from scratch. So Vicky, do you have a question?
Yep. So, okay, so one of the things that I wanted to know was taking things right from the freezer and putting them in the air fryer. Like chicken breast, I mean, I know you can do it because I've heard of people doing it with shrimp and stuff like that, but you said it might cause a lot of water.
Yeah,
And I'm just not sure about, you can take, like, if you have a bag of chicken breast, like you buy them, you know, a bag of them, you can take them out and put them right in the air fryer.
Jen, do you want to answer that? I've never done that before. Jen said she had frozen chicken breast in there now.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted. Excuse me. No, you gave me too much credit. I was using Purdue breaded chicken cutlets, but they did come straight out of the, because I like them because then they get crispy. But they did come straight out of the freezer. So I put that in there. When I've done like coconut shrimp that's in the recipe book with it is like one of my favorite things. But I do thaw those first. I haven't put much meat in it. I did do a small rotisserie chicken and I did do a pork loin also on the rotisserie, but both of those have been thawed. I haven't done anything frozen that wasn't like a prepared food.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine that if it's frozen, when it thaws, it's going to cause a lot of moisture, you know, that would come out. So I kind of would suggest not doing that. But if you have it and you're going to try it, certainly can't hurt to try it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to try. And I know you can put them on the tray and put them in the oven. So I don't know. I guess it's possible. And I have the little parchment like baskets almost like the liners.
Oh yeah.
So they are about 2 or 3 inches. No, not those. They're like a I'm gonna well, I can't show you because I'm not on video, but they're like a
like coffee filter kind of?
Like a coffee filter, a big
Yeah.
coffee filter. Yep.
Yeah, I've seen
And
those.
so I'm thinking that I'm going to try it. I mean, it won't, I guess I'll just try. It'll be by trial and error.
Yeah.
I would think it would cook. The only thing that would happen is it just wouldn't be super like crispy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Right. But that's okay because I can put a seasoning, a Montreal seasoning or whatever on it. Right.
Yep. Okay. So Jen, did you have a question?
I'm sorry if I missed it. I was going to ask you about cleaning the top up by the heating element because I hear that gets tricky.
Oh, up here?
Like inside,
Oh,
like under the guard.
okay.
I've been lazy about that.
Yeah, definitely. It's the same thing. When you take out that the guard and wash that in the dishwasher, whatever, however you want to wash that. And then just take a damp cloth and you're just going to kind of wipe down everything in there. Same, just make sure it's not hot. And Jen, I definitely don't suggest putting marshmallows.
Funny that you say that because when my daughter walked by and heard you and saw what you were doing, and she said something earlier, one of our very favorite things to make in here is s'mores. Just don't put them on the top shelf. But it's amazing because they'll get like campfire, like brown on the top.
That's amazing.
Yeah. With Tara and I have a little inside joke about that. I was just going to say the other thing that while you were doing this, I made my chicken, I had salad. And the other thing I do every once in a while, and forget until I remember, oh, do that again. I took pineapple and I cored it and sliced it and made like pineapple spears. I just threw that in my air fryer with some cinnamon on it because the best thing is warm pineapple. So that's what I'm eating right now. Just share.
You know, I was looking through when you were talking about the pineapple, I was looking through there. There's so many Facebook groups, but one of the ones that I'm in, it's for consultants for the air fryer. So people, they share recipes and stuff like that. I just saw this one where they made pineapple spears and she actually soaked them in rum chata. And then sprinkled them with some cinnamon and some sugar and air fried them. And it was like, oh my gosh. So I couldn't even, that I wanted to do that. I was gonna actually do that, but I was like, I don't have time to run out to the store and get a pineapple. But when I go to the store next time, I'm getting me a pineapple and trying that, because that just sounded delicious.
Oh yeah, it's so good. I put sugar and cinnamon on them today. I just sprinkled cinnamon straight on them, but yeah, I know you and the rum chata. I can see that coming up on a post soon.
Yes, I'll have to try it. So any other questions? No?
I have a question.
Okay.
What type of brush did you say you used on the door
A brush.
that you used on the
Like-
door through the holes?
Oh, I got it. So sorry, they're dirty. So there's a little brush like this that this came with our blender with the smoothie attachment, but you can find these in the stores.
Okay.
So that part, that goes through really easily because it's pretty small. This is the other one. This is our cleaning tool that I use to get around some of the crevices and stuff. And then there's a pointy end. But I mean, of course, I'm gonna tell you Pampered Chef, but we also have, I mean, you can get brushes anywhere. You can use an old toothbrush if you need to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I use things like that all the time, and then I just have to remember to tell people not to use them. I could be cruel and while the kids are away at college, use their toothbrushes for stuff like that and then just put them back and not tell them, but I don't think I think they'd be mad at me if they found out. So let's see. Wow, it was only 45 minutes. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Pam. I'm trying to read across, and I do want to do another one on our pressure cooker, and you know, if there's any other anything else, that any other tools or appliances that people have questions on, because you know, as much as I'm a salesperson, I still don't want people to buy and not use. I'd rather you guys use things and make it easier for you. Like Jen, your daughter likes to make the s'mores, and I just love hearing things like that, because I mean, I'm a cheap, like, why spend the money if you're not going to use it? So I thank you all, and I will play the replay in this group, but I'll also play it in my VIP group. So if you guys think of any questions afterwards, just let me know, and you all know how to reach me. So just let me know, and have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thank you so much, Tara. This was great.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Sarah.